You are now tuned in to higher frequencies. We do this frequently. Turn your radio station to E3 for that decency. Listen to great music and the latest movement. Safe listening for anyone that's tuned in. Who you waking up to? Anna Deshawn, Q Crew and friends. It's that real talk. Online radio with the spins. You caught up in traffic, frustrated. Just check in with E3 to shift your vibrations and get elevated. That's queer radio done right. Choose to be yourself. That's the only way to live life, and that's how it's done here. Just know y'all tuned in to the greatest. Ain't no competition. We ain't worried about the other stations. Check.
What's good, good people? You know, this is your girl, Anna Deshawn, right here on Wake Up with Anna and Friends. And today we got an old friend. I mean, Don, I probably interviewed Don 3 times over the last decade, maybe. Something like that. What's going on, Don?
Yeah, this is about the 3rd time. I mean, I'm good. You look good too.
Thanks, man. You do too. I'm loving the hair. I'm loving the color in the art studio. So if you don't, you got to check it on YouTube to see everything Dawn got going on. But if you're listening to the interview, know that Dawn is a crazy talented artist, graphic design. But I mean, today her work is centering around art, canvas, and you got a new show happening down in Tulsa, right?
Facts. Yeah, it's called the Greenwood Joy Experience. I've been commissioned to create an art show. So it's going on from May 22nd until June 19th, Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the Green Arts Building, in the historical Black Wall Street, Greenwood Avenue and Archer. So it's all centered around joy and what that looks like for the African American in the United States of America. And so I'm looking at deeper rooted issues that can get us to joy, right? Through our systems in America, like our city, state, and governmental systems. So looking at those issues, but visually expressing very colorful, movemented visuals. In my artwork, I paint on wood. Most of my artwork is very large scale, and I use mixed media. I use a lot of 24 karat gold leaf and glitter in these pieces. So I'm excited just to get the feedback, Yeah.
It sounds amazing. So tell me, I know you said you were commissioned, but what has inspired this particular installation, Greenwood Joy?
I would say the current environment in the United States for African Americans, left and right, we're being shot down in the streets, not even from our peers, but from our governmental and infrastructures that are supposed to protect us. So, reflecting on that, looking at the fact that there isn't necessarily a concentrated effort or environment that inspires joy at all for African Americans. So just really wanted to influence that through my art, wanting to feel joy myself. And so knowing that that's an emotion that needs to be had. So I took some, I expressed myself through visuals like film and editing. I kind of dove into that aspect of my artistic abilities for this project as well. So there's a 50-minute film that I show in the experience. So yeah.
Oh, dope. So there's a film and there's your art on wood as well, that they complement each other in this experience?
Yes, exactly.
Wow. So I love that. That speaks to all my sensory things that I need to stay engaged. I think it's beautiful when Black people make art, because it's not what you see on television growing up in these tired art studios with, whatever the art is that's on display. The mixed media pieces to the art, the music that moves and touches us, and how that's displayed, the art is just different. So, we all been going through this thing called COVID, and how has COVID affected your artistic, or creative juice? Or do you feel like you had a lot to put out there, or you had a lot to give because you weren't moving around and we was all on lockdown? How did that feel?
I was blessed to be able to be commissioned for this project. So it allowed me not to have to think in a certain way as an artist. A lot of times I've had to be in venue spaces and actively selling my artwork, right? So I was able to be able to have the time and the space to think about this particular project. So I think if anything, it brought out more from me It exercised my abilities. So, I mean, it was rough, you know, COVID's rough, having to think about different things and different ways to move and express yourself. But I cut my hair off. I cut all my hair off. I had these antennas before. If you check some of my pictures, I had these locks growing. And I went through a process of just getting to know myself more internally. That was important. And so I backed up from social media a little bit. And now I'm able to kind of, I was able to create, right? So now I'm able to show and, if anything, get feedback and be more inspired from the community. And
I heard that, and I've heard something similar from other artists that we've had on the show, that because of lockdown, they actually had more creativity. They had more that they wanted to share and express through their art, which I thought was really actually pretty beautiful, because there was so much going on around us in the world, and that being an outlet to focus on. I thought that was pretty dope. So yeah, because you're in Tulsa, I'm also thinking about the massacre. So is this the anniversary or 100-year? Is this in?
Yeah, it's centennial. It's centennial. It's been 100 years since the massacre. There's been no true retribution in terms of reparations or anything. There's an active fight right now to Mario Simmons. There's a lot of just highlighting in terms of it being 100 years. So, I mean, I'm honored to be able to express it artistically. I'm not a politician. If anything, I have journalistic background and with my degree. And so I do research through my art and express it that way. But there are key, like, governmental, city, political things that need to go on in order for us to be economically sound in this city called Tulsa, Oklahoma, and retributed.
100%. And I was talking to Don, because I'm almost 99% certain Pieces of Lovecraft Country was centered around Tulsa, Oklahoma, right before the massacre. And it's a story that's not told very often. It's a story that I think it's a key story in Black folks' history in America, and how our wealth, right, how our wealth was torn down, dismissed, burned to the ground, killed off, that affected generations to come.
Oh yeah, like about $5 million was lost in claims, or lost, and that money was never retained through claims or anything like that. So, and equipment, cars, houses, all of those things were taken from them. They were able to rebuild 5 years later, but yet there's still, and then there's urban removal. I mean, there's been a conscious effort to destroy what we have. But through my art, you know, I'm an abstract artist at heart. I like to express emotion and try to influence a different environment through my art.
Yeah. And I think that's another, I wish I was in Tulsa. I wish I could come see the exhibit. Maybe I will.
It's up until June 19th. So the dates are May 22nd, May 31st, and June 19th. So,
all right, fam.
Time. It's COVID safe, you know. We got wipes everywhere. We do a temperature check before you come in. We have hand sanitizer everywhere. So yeah,
it's our life, isn't it? It's crazy.
It's facts.
It's facts. To stay safe out here. Yo, it might be a thing. It might be worth a trip to leave the city. I'm always, right now, I'm thinking about all the places we can go now that we're fully vaccinated and feel a little safer.
Come broadcast live from Greenwood.
Oh, snap. I think that's a beautiful idea. Let me go talk to my wife. Wait a second. I think that's actually a really beautiful idea. So, okay. All right. You got me thinking. We'll see what we can make happen. So, right. If people can't, let's just say someone can't make it to Oklahoma, how can people follow your work? How can they support what you're doing? How can they buy your artwork?
You can Google Underground Tree Studios. I have a website, utreep.com is the website. I have a store, so you can go see some artwork there. Some things are really exclusive, and so you really can't see it unless you show up to a space where I'm exhibiting. But I do have prints available. I do have my graphic art. I have a book available. Yeah, the Greenwood Joy Experience is the main thing I'm focused on right now. So I really want to encourage people to come to that and just be knowledgeable about that.
That's it. So family, if you need a trip, a weekend getaway, if you're in Chicago, if you're in Oklahoma, just go down to Greenwood Joy Project and check out Dawn's work. Where was it located again? You said it was a historic street.
Yeah, it's Greenwood Avenue and Archer Street. And then I'm also working with the Greenwood Cultural Center and John Hope Franklin. There are plenty of events if you come down. Yeah, you won't be disappointed. Juneteenth, you know, that's our holiday.
That's our holiday.
You know, if you want to get out the heat though, come to the Greenwood Joy Experience. It's a penthouse suite. We on the 5th floor. You can see all of Greenwood. Yeah.
Beautiful. It's beautiful, family. Dawn, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your work and what you're doing for Black folks, right? And expressing liberation through your art. We need more of that. So thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for continuing to provide the platform. Yeah. It's been, you know, you've been running for a minute.
Hey, we've been at this for a long time, homie. You know, the race ain't over yet, you know?
Hey, it's a marathon.
It sure is. And I think I'm at mile 2, even with all this time.
Yeah.
But family, check out Dawn's work. If you want to make a trip to Oklahoma, if you're already in Oklahoma, go check it out. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful way to celebrate Black folks, and especially Dawn in this case. All right. So don't go nowhere. More on the Wake Up with Anna and Friends right here on E3 Radio.